In today's breaking news, the Deploying American Blockchain Act of 2023 has officially passed the House with such a landslide victory that it can't be vetoed or rescinded. This bill officially removes the power from the SEC over Ripple and XRP and crypto in its entirety. The Secretary shall serve as the principal advisor to the President for policy pertaining to blockchain technology or other DLTs. That is right. The long-awaited day has finally come. The moment we have all been waiting for, Congress confirming no more SEC. We have won. I cannot believe I finally get to say that. We have won. And the new crypto bossman, or boss lady should I say, is the US Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo. Now, there is a chance that this would render the Ripple case, potentially meaning no settlement deal is necessary, which would be a massive win once again. Of course, we will find out soon enough in the coming days or weeks, but this is big news. Confirmation that we are now witnessing the flip of the switch moment, and better still, we are witnessing multiple switches being flipped all at once right now. The pivot is happening. This just in from Bitcoin News, FDIC Chairman Martin Gruenberg, the man who was responsible for targeting, attempting to destroy the digital asset industry by facilitating Operation Choke Point 2.0, Gruenberg, is to resign. The corrupt tyrants in this space are not just getting flushed out one by one, they are all getting axed in unison together at the same time. And do you want to know the biggest reason why? It was Ripple and XRP. This is not just me speculating, this is from Congress themselves. Congress have debunked the myth that all digital assets other than Bitcoin are securities and should be regulated by the SEC. They have confirmed that the XRP decision, as we can see here, the XRP decision in July 2023 determined that XRP was only part of an investment contract when offered directly by Ripple to institutional investors. The decision calls into question the SEC's position that practically all digital assets are securities, and the SEC's policies was rejected by the court, which highlights the need for legislations. Everything that is happening this week regarding legislations and regulations and the removal of the corrupt tyrants is the result of 2 to 3 long, hard years of fighting against the SEC. Save this video, share this video as a reminder that this is the moment we made history once again, and that everybody who clowned on Ripple now and in the last few years should be singing their praises for what's happening right now, and if they aren't, well, I guess then they're no better than Gary Gensler. Speaking of the man, did you know that he testified to Congress 3 years ago that the SEC does not have authority from Congress to regulate crypto exchanges? Listen closely.
I do think that working with Congress, and I think it's only Congress that could really address it, it'd be good to consider, if you would ask my thoughts, to consider whether to bring greater investor protection to the crypto exchanges. And I think if that were to be the case, because right now the exchanges trading in these crypto assets do not have a regulatory framework, either at the SEC or our sister agency, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, that could instill greater confidence. Right now, there's not a market regulator around these crypto exchanges, and thus there's really not protection against fraud or manipulation or a conflict of interest.
So Gary Gensler actually wanted Congress to make the decision on their behalf. Congress seemingly held out for years, so the SEC decided on the register or delist approach, regulation by enforcement, which we can hear on CNBC right here. Laura Bukoya, the ex-CFTC head of litigation and investigation, stated that this was an unnatural method from a financial regulator. Take a listen.
What's been alarming for us is they've been really targeting our developers. They asked for a list of the names of any consensus developers who contributed any coding to the merge. They asked for the identities of public and private consensus software developer code repositories. And those are very strange requests from a financial regulator. You know, I can speak to that because I used to be in the CFTC's enforcement division and investigated cases myself.
It is as plain as day that the SEC would not have been the ones overseeing crypto in the future. Brad Garlinghouse stated himself recently the SEC will lose in the long run, and now we are part of the biggest week in crypto legislations ever. FIT Fit 21 Act is expected to head to the floor for a vote in the House in the afternoon of May 22nd tomorrow. And there's a belief that about 70% of all crypto tokens should be classified as commodities rather than securities. Patrick McHenry confirms that this week the House is taking a monumental step toward providing regulatory clarity for the US digital asset ecosystem, and this decision tomorrow will likely pass. The reason why is because America seemingly finally is ready. And with the US elections quickly approaching, as we can see in this video, what's his next for SAB 121, Joe Biden's veto could potentially hurt his election chances. So most likely he will not do it. It was nothing more than just a bluff.
Huge week. We have a vote sometime either Wednesday or Thursday this week on the full House floor of the House of Representatives on the Fit 21 bill. It's the first time we've seen a comprehensive bill get a vote in either chamber of the House, and so we're really excited to see how much support we can get for this bill.
This is the one that President Biden has promised to veto. What happens?
Actually, that's a different one. Okay. So there's another bill that's been going through on SAB 121. So yes, we have Fit 21 and SAB 121. Now, President Biden has threatened to veto that, but what was interesting about the vote in the Senate last week, that was a really surprising number of Democrats to jump onto that bill, and so I think the big question is Biden going to follow through with his veto threat, or will he just sort of stand down and let the will of the House and the Senate overturn this undesirable regulation? So, no, the crypto voter is real. If you had asked me a year ago, I was like, I don't know about this crypto voter idea, but no, the crypto voter is real. In swing states, 1 in 5 voters considers crypto policy a factor in their decision making.
I mean, you can't avoid it at this point.
No, it's unavoidable. It is something that has reached, it used to just be something that maybe cropped up in a few congressional or Senate races, but we're seeing this at the presidential level as well. The pressure is on for Biden to reconsider that veto threat on the SAB 121 repeal.
It's just so amazing to me that in tight races like pivotal swing states, crypto really is going to be the factor. To your point earlier, I don't think we'd be talking about this last year.
So this just may be the confirmation that we needed to see, confirming that the crypto bull run is here. This week is overflowing with bullish announcements. Like Standard Chartered Bank, Ripple Partner expects the spot Ethereum ETF to be approved this week and predicts $15 to $45 billion in inflows in the first 12 months. And this is exactly as Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse predicted, crypto ETFs launching and exploding in the United States.
At some point, there will be a new chair of the SEC, and I think that'll be a good thing for the American people.
There were a couple of interesting things after that Bitcoin ETF was approved in that statement. One, and I paraphrase here, was effectively Gary Gensler saying, just because we allowed the Bitcoin ETF, don't think we're now going to allow a bunch of other crypto assets. The second interesting thing was the price of Ether skyrocketed immediately after, on hopes that there could now next be an ETH ETF. What are the chances of that?
I think it's a certainty. I think
this year?
I'm not going to put a horizon on the time, but I think there will be other ETFs for sure.
An XRP one?
There will be other ETFs for sure.
but an XRP one?
I love this game we play. Look, I am very
That's the last time I lost.
That's fine. But look, the sad part of that reality is we have a Bitcoin ETF only because a U.S. court said to the SEC, you're being arbitrary and capricious in your application of the law. What would be sad is if every ETF had to go through that same journey and for Gary Gensler to get smacked down by the U.S. court system again.
We have won. Plain and simple, we have won, and we will continue to keep on winning as these developments continue to flourish, and as such, this increases the possibility of an imminent XRP ETF as well, considering what ETFs did for Bitcoin and what the announcement of a potential ETF did for Ethereum. ETFs for XRP will likely send XRP's price to the moon and never to return. So don't look short term, think long term, and I'll see you in the next one.